For 42 years, the best sci-fi, fantasy, and horror convention has been coming right here to Tucson.
And this year's TusCon 42 guest of honor, Seanan McGuire, and our friend, of course, and special guest of the event, the Meteorite Man himself, Geoff Notkin. They both joined us this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
It's so wonderful to talk to you both. Now, we were just kind of chatting on commercial break that this event has been going on for 42 years now, which is kind of amazing. So for anybody who doesn't know about the event, tell us a little bit about that.
I think we have to lead by saying that science fiction fans will appreciate that 42 is a magical number
It's the
in
answer.
science fiction world. And in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, book, television show, film, radio show, it is the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
We don't know the question, but we have the answer.
Well, there's 50% is good. We have half of it.
So for anyone who's involved in science fiction, when it gets to the 42nd of something, it is just monumental. So we're all very pleased about that, and we're expecting amazing things to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And because it's Halloween, then the convention happens over Halloween weekend, it's especially marvelous for those of us in fandom, because we all know that Tucson's kind of weird. That's why we live here. We love it. And sci-fi people are weird. We freely admit it. So you put weird Tucson together with weird science fiction, and it's extra fantastic. And just to shake things up a bit, we decided to appear on the Halloween edition of the show as normal people instead of
That's how
You are really changing things up.
I just wanted to freak you out a bit, since I usually come in field costume or adventure clothing.
Exactly. But I like this. You look very dapper.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Doesn't he look lovely?
And you guys, as we were saying at the beginning, you're a special guest. You're a headliner, basically. So what is your part in the show?
Well, we're going to do a lot of panels. So we have group discussions kind of like this.
Yeah.
You know, so we all sit around and we talk, and the audience will ask us questions. We've got signings. There's going to be a burlesque costume show, cosplay throughout the weekend. And we also just try to hang out and give people a chance to chat one-on-one, so we can meet fans can meet us, people can bring me lizards. You know, it's a
That's
good time.
happening.
Oh, it is actually happening. So
That's a normal occurrence.
that's a normal occurrence for me. People just show up with reptiles, small amphibians, whatever they've found hopping around.
Aren't you the lucky one?
I really am.
I can tell
so
you're into it, which is
excited.
even cooler. Now, of course, you are both also authors. So let's talk a little bit about both of your books.
It's a very exciting time for us. And I know that you know me largely as a science writer and as a science television host, but I'm also a cartoonist. We're both cartoonists. And I've had a lifelong love affair with the comics industry. And I had a very strange and amazing Forrest Gump-like journey through the world of comics. I fell in love with comic books when I was about 5. My oldest friend is Neil Gaiman. We met when we were 10. He's one of the most famous living writers in the world. And during my career in comics, I worked with Will Eisner of The Spirit, Harvey Kurtzman, founder of Mad Magazine, and many other great cartoonists. And I really wanted to tell this story because there's a lot of passion in my life for comic books, and there are a lot of humorous stories. And hence the new book, My Incredibly Strange and Amazing Real-Life Adventures in the World of Comic Books, shortest title ever for a book. And what better than to release it on Halloween at the Tucson Science Fiction Convention.
Amazing.
Well, Geoff, we think you're amazing, and I think you're so witty and so funny, and I think that makes sense. That just makes sense to kind of.
Can I just say, one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah.
Just such a sweetheart and such a talent. And I'm so glad that you brought Seanan as well. So let's hear about your books. I know you have a few.
So, well, Geoff tells you the truth in his books, and I tell lots and lots of lies. That is my job. I'm a professional liar. And so what I've got, my most recent book is actually called A Red Rose Chain, and that's book 9 in an ongoing series. Wow. So I highly recommend not reading it. Read books 1 through 8. Because it's so confusing. I always feel a little awkward trying to explain them at this stage. I also brought Chimera, which is my new book as Mira Grant, because I'm 2 people. I have so many lies to tell. I couldn't be just one person.
Right.
And the genre I mostly work in is what's called urban fantasy. So that is telling fairy tales, essentially, in the modern world. When we were hearing Little Red Riding Hood for the first time, hundreds of years ago, everyone had a friend or a family member that lived on the other side of a dangerous wood. And so teaching your kids not to get eaten by wolves was a valuable life skill. Well, in my books, fairies are living in San Francisco, and there's an entire colony of chupacabra living here in Tucson. And teaching you not to get eaten by them is a valuable life skill.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it. I like my books. They feed my cats, which is really, really a good thing. I was showing him pictures of the cats before. They're huge. So it's important that I can continue to supply them with food.
Yeah, that would be a good thing. They might need that. But I love that you have a little bit of that Tucson, touch in there, a little of the chupacabra that other people, will get, but we specifically get.
We've got a whole colony of chupacabra living in Tucson.
I got to tell you something fantastic about her. I went to pick her up at the hotel today, at the Hotel Tucson City Center, where the science fiction convention is being held. And Seanan told me that she got in trouble last night because she was out chasing coyotes. She was stalking coyotes. So she's a real adventurer. It's not just in the books.
My poor handlers at the convention, they always have people to try to keep me from winding up dead in a ditch, because I'm really good at winding up dead in a ditch. And they hadn't had me in their custody for 5 minutes, and I'm following a coyote into the wastes. The only way they could get me back was by promising to take me where the rattlesnakes were.
Yeah, we're terribly sorry.
I appreciate these handlers a lot. Right? We would miss you today if that were the case. But there's so much going on at the convention. Of course, we get a lot of one-on-one with people that we otherwise wouldn't have, and I'm sure there's so many other things going on.
There's a dealer's room, an art show. You can buy books. You can buy Geoff's new book, which comes out on Halloween, and I'm excited about that. I don't have it yet. The art show is lovely. You can see science fiction and fantasy art really from around the world, because people send things in. So it's just a good time.
And it's intentionally kept small.
Yeah.
One of the reasons we love Tucson is it's a very friendly and all-embracing city. And so there are gigantic comic conventions around the world, as you know, that with attendees up to in the hundreds of thousands. Not at TusCon. It's kept to a few hundred people. It's very personal. It's very welcoming. So if they're fandom enthusiasts, cosplay enthusiasts, science fiction, fantasy fans, comic book enthusiasts, and you've never been to the convention before and say, well, I don't really know anyone, don't feel like that. We're a family. It's super welcoming.
We're a family.
Well, we love having you guys on. It was so nice to meet
really
you. Thank you
meet
for
you
coming.
too.
I'm so glad you made it here and the coyotes didn't get to you.
We'll bring you a lizard next time.
Exactly. Now, the 42nd annual TusCon starts today and goes through Sunday at the Hotel Tucson City Center. For more details, you can call 742-3333. To learn more about Geoff and Seanan, you can visit arrowlight.org and SeananMcGuire.com as well.